P&O cruise ship Iona runs a popular winter cruise from Southampton to Northern Europe, visiting Hamburg, Rotterdam and Zeebrugge for Bruges. But once you start researching the ports, a few questions usually come up. How easy are these cities to explore from the ship? What can you realistically see in a single day? And is this actually a good itinerary for families as well as adults? I sailed this exact route on Iona. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how the itinerary works, where ships dock in each port, and what it's really like exploring Hamburg, Rotterdam and Bruges during a cruise stop. Most sailings on this itinerary follow a very simple pattern. Everyone embarks in Southampton before the ship crosses the North Sea on a sea day. The first port is Hamburg, followed by another sea day before arriving in Rotterdam. One of the most interesting parts of the itinerary is that Iona normally stays overnight in Rotterdam, which gives you far more flexibility than a typical cruise stop. After Rotterdam, the ship visits Zeebrugge, which is the cruise port used for visiting Bruges, before returning to Southampton. Another thing to know about this itinerary is that many of these sailings run during the winter months. When I visited Hamburg, temperatures were around -2 degrees with snow falling, and parts of the river even had ice drifting along the water. So warm layers, gloves, and a proper coat are definitely essential. The good news is that these are all city ports, not remote destinations. You're docking close to the center of large European cities with cafes, museums, and indoor attractions nearby, which makes winter cruising here far easier than many people expect. Iona is one of P&O Cruises' most family-friendly ships, with a wide range of activities, entertainment, and dedicated spaces for children and teenagers on board. So one question families often ask is whether the itinerary itself works just as well. The good news is that these ports are actually very manageable with children. All 3 stops are major cities with good transport, plenty of indoor attractions, and lots of places you can explore independently without needing long coach journeys. Cruise ships visiting Hamburg usually dock at Cruise Center Hafen City, which sits directly beside the modern Hafen City district, close to the center of the city. When you leave the ship, you walk through the cruise terminal and directly into the Westfield Überseequartier complex, which is a large shopping and restaurant area, connecting the terminal straight into the city itself. This location is what makes Hamburg such an easy port to explore independently. You're not arriving in an industrial harbor miles outside town. Instead, you're already within walking distance of several major attractions. One of the most recognizable landmarks nearby is the Elbphilharmonie Concert Hall. Even if you're not attending a performance, you can ride the long curved escalator through the center of the building and visit the public viewing terrace at the top, which offers wide views across the harbor. Just beside it, you'll find the Speicherstadt district, a UNESCO World Heritage Site made up of historic red brick warehouses linked by canals and bridges. Another unusual place worth visiting is the Old Elbe Tunnel, which opened in 1911 and runs underneath the river. You enter through a historic lift system and then walk through the tiled tunnel beneath the harbor. Hamburg also has excellent public transport. The Überseequartier U-Bahn station sits right beside the terminal area, and the harbor ferries operate as part of the city's normal transport network, meaning you can ride them using a regular day ticket. Hamburg is also surprisingly good for families visiting on a cruise. One of the most popular attractions is Miniature Wonderland, the largest model railway in the world. It's incredibly detailed and very popular with children, but tickets often sell out, so it's worth booking in advance if you plan to visit. There are also several free experiences that children tend to enjoy. The curved escalator inside the Elbphilharmonie is an attraction in itself, and the Old Elbe Tunnel feels like stepping into a piece of history. The harbor ferries can also be a fun way to travel along the waterfront, and the Westfield shopping complex beside the cruise terminal gives you plenty of food options and indoor space if the weather turns cold. After Hamburg, the ship spends another day at sea before arriving in Rotterdam. Cruise ships dock at Cruise Terminal Rotterdam, on the Wilhelminapier, which sits directly on the river in the heart of the city. When you step outside the terminal, you're already beside the Erasmus Bridge, one of Rotterdam's most recognizable landmarks. The nearest metro station, Wilhelminaplein, is about a 5-minute walk away and connects directly to Rotterdam Central Station. The overnight stay in Rotterdam creates 2 very different options for cruise passengers. On the first day, many people choose to travel to Amsterdam, which is about an hour away by train. Once you arrive at Amsterdam Central Station, you're already close to the historic center, and several of the main sites are within walking distance. Many cruise visitors start with a canal boat tour, which is one of the easiest ways to see the city from the water while passing through the famous canal district. From there, you can explore areas around Dam Square and the surrounding streets, or simply wander along the canals and bridges that make the city so distinctive. If visiting the Anne Frank house is important to you, it's worth booking tickets well in advance, because they often sell out weeks ahead. With the overnight stay in Rotterdam, you can take your time a little more than usual because you don't have to rush straight back to the ship. Then on the second day, you can explore Rotterdam itself or visit another Dutch city nearby. If you decide to stay in Rotterdam, there are several sites close to the center of the city. The cube houses near Blok Station are one of the city's most unusual buildings, and right beside them you'll find the Old Harbour, a historic waterfront area filled with cafes and restaurants. Just a few minutes away sits the Markthaal, a large indoor food market with dozens of food stalls beneath a huge, colorful ceiling mural. Because the Netherlands has such a good rail network, you can also easily visit nearby cities such as Delft or The Hague, both of which are only about 20 to 30 minutes away by train. For families, Rotterdam can be a very fun port. Children often enjoy the journey to Amsterdam itself, taking the metro to Rotterdam Central and then the train north to the capital. In Amsterdam, canal boat tours are a simple and relaxing way to see the city from the water. Back in Rotterdam, another fun way to see the city is by taking one of the Rotterdam water taxis, which travel along the river and give you excellent views of the skyline and the Erasmus Bridge. The cube houses and the Markthaal are both interesting places to explore. And if you're looking for something specifically aimed at children, Rotterdam Zoo sits close to Rotterdam Central Station and can easily fill several hours. After the overnight stay, the final port on the itinerary is Zeebrugge. Zeebrugge works very differently from Hamburg or Rotterdam. It's a large working commercial harbour, part of the port of Antwerp-Bruges, and cruise ships normally dock at the Swedish quay near the ABC Tower cruise terminal. Because it's an industrial port, you cannot simply walk out of the harbour area. Passengers normally leave the dock using a shuttle bus that transfers people from the ship to the cruise terminal. From there, you can choose how you want to travel to Bruges. The most straightforward option is usually the Cruise Express shuttle bus, which runs directly from near the terminal and takes about 30 minutes to reach the coach parking area just outside Bruges Historic Centre. Another option is travelling by train via the nearby seaside town of Blankenberg, which is often the cheapest method, but requires a little more planning because trains usually run about once an hour. Taxis are also available and can work well if several people are sharing the cost. Once you arrive in Bruges, the historic centre is compact and very easy to explore on foot. Most visitors begin in Markt Square, where the Belfry Tower rises above colourful medieval buildings and cafes. From there, you can wander through the cobbled streets and canals that make Bruges one of the most picturesque cities in Europe. Bruges is also a surprisingly family-friendly place to visit during a cruise stop. Children often enjoy browsing the many Belgian chocolate shops scattered throughout the centre, and there are plenty of cafes selling waffles and other treats. Canal boat tours are another relaxing way to see the city from the water. One of the nicest things about this Northern Europe cruise is that all three ports are relatively easy to explore independently. Ships dock close to city centres, transport connections are good, and the overnight stay in Rotterdam gives you extra flexibility when planning your day. But Rotterdam is also the port where many cruise passengers start asking the same question. If you want to visit Amsterdam independently during your cruise stop, what's actually the easiest way to get there from the ship? I've made a step-by-step guide showing exactly how to travel from Rotterdam Cruise Port to Amsterdam. That video is on screen now.